To me, the most effective and the only effective way to change things in a democracy is by elections and politics. That's my perspective, my point of view.
You really believe in the system?
I mean, I believe there is no alternative to the system, and you got to play the game. Okay, fair enough.
I completely disagree.
But to me, this is why you fail, because to make an actual change, and I think that's what Shmuley and Stav Shafir, they understood, and they were.
And our life is so much better because they're now politicians.
Because they're bad politicians, but. Like, if you don't like Gantz and you don't like Bibi and you don't like Lapid and you don't, so bring someone who you like, who will do the work.
So I'm feeling that you're trying to bring me into your paradigm, and as someone who has worked different elections and feel that the system works for him and feels that he has a good life and has been a part of that system, I understand why you buy into that, and I respect that. I don't buy into it. I feel that it's a corrupt system in the depth of it. Bibi is very corrupt himself. There is, again and again, every time there's a young, new force of change comes into action, there will be politicians, there will be people who the system serves very well, like yourself, my friend. There will be old people, much older than us, sitting in TV newsrooms saying, what are their demands? We don't understand them. What is your clear cut? What is the political agenda here? I refuse to play that game. I refuse to let people put me in a box by asking me a month into this movement. It's still a young movement. I refuse to try and to sate these people by giving them easy answers that they can comprehend. Complexity of the world we're living in is so much bigger than that. As we agreed before, the three of us, we don't know what's going to happen in a month. The level of chaos that the world is experiencing at the moment is so disorienting that any level of thinking, we need to change the way the leadership works. We need to change the way politics
if
works.
not by elections?
No, but to me that's a dangerous route, because the human endeavor is to make order out of chaos, and we should strive to do that, because you look 2,000 years ago, there was less order, there was much more chaos, things were shitty, right? Christ was crucified, people were burned on the side of roads. Like, it was not a fun time to live in. Yeah. So I think it's our job as humans, as a human race, to make order out of chaos. And so if you want change, you have to have a direction. If you don't have, if you refuse to be boxed in, then
we have directions. Okay. We have very clear directions. One of the directions is Bibi needs to go home. A corrupt leader with 3 indictments against him cannot lead us.
What's your alternative to the system, to the game?
So one thing that's important to say is that when I say I refuse to play the game, I'm speaking as Maya. My movement, my change doesn't come through party politics, but comes through broader social change happening with shift of consciousness. That does not mean that there aren't other people in this movement that are working towards a party answer. Like, I don't do that, but other people completely are considering how does this translate into a political force. I feel that the game is so rigged and so crooked and corrupt that it really doesn't matter. And my point in this conversation is always the bigger picture, that the game is rigged. The system is corrupt. It's ruled by money and power.
What other system do you have? What other game there is?
I don't feel comfortable creating a list of demands or being very, very specific about what the outcome needs to be while this movement is still forming, in the sense that I do feel that ultra-Orthodox needs and demands need to be a part of this platform, as do the 20% of Arabs living in this country that suffer immense racism and aren't legitimate in many, many public spaces, as the Ethiopians and as others. And while this movement is coming together and while these things are being built, I feel that trying to push forward what's it going to look like is just a demand I'm not willing to work with.